Bucks, it's Miss Hooker, and it's time for our first Bucks book talk of the new year. I hope you all had an amazing break and are ready to get back to school and get back to doing some reading. So, I'm going to share with you a couple of great books to get you started. And we're going to start here with this first one called Cloud and Wallfish. So, Cloud and Wallfish is a great historical fiction set during the Cold War. So, the Cold War was a period of time when the United States and Russia were at war with each other, but not the typical war with weapons. It was more of it was called a Cold War because it was all espionage and spying and economic sanctions and propaganda against each other. So, it was not fought with weapons like a typical war. So, it's called the Cold War. And part of this Cold War was very much an Eastern versus Western conflict. So in Cloud and Wallfish, it is set during the time when the Berlin Wall was up between East Berlin and West Berlin. And West Berlin was the more democratic side that was sided with Western Europe and the United States. Eastern Europe was communist and was part of more of the alliance with Russia. So Noah wakes up one day and he's told by his parents, hey, your name's not really Noah. Guess what? Your birthday's not really on the day you thought it was. You are not who you think you are. They take him to go live in East Berlin on the communist side. And he doesn't know what's going on. And he befriends this girl named Claudia, whose nickname is Cloud. And they live in the same building. And Claudia's parents have disappeared. And so they come together to try to find out where her parents are, what's happened to them. Noah's trying to figure out what's up with his parents and why have they brought him to East Berlin. And it's a really great look into a period of time that you may not know very much about. A Night Divided. This book is also about the East Berlin and West Berlin, the Berlin Wall. In this one, her girl and her mom are on one side. They're on the eastern side in East Berlin. Her dad and her brother have gotten trapped on the western side. And so that whole book is about them trying to come together and reunite. And then some of these other books are more about the classical Cold War between the United States and Russia. It's really a fascinating time. If you like books with spies and espionage, this is a look into what it really was like back in the Cold War. The Cold War actually ended as recently as 1991. So I guess that seems like a long time for you guys. That is 30 years. It doesn't seem like so long for me, but that's when it ended. So Cloud and Wallfish, a really fun, amazing, and interesting book to read. The other book I wanted to share with you is a little bit different. It is called The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. If you've never read anything by Holly Black, I highly recommend her. She has created an amazing world of fairies. And so in The Cruel Prince, this girl named Jude and her sister have been taken into the land of fairies by the fairy king who has just murdered her parents. So she grows up as the adopted daughter of the fairy king. She's trying to learn how to be a part of the royal court. The fairies do not like her because she's mortal, and she's trying to find her place. This book is full of betrayals and treachery and mistrust, and she's basically trying to fit in a place where she doesn't belong. She shouldn't be there. But it's the world that Holly Black creates is really very vivid. This is the first book in a series, and the fourth book in the series is just coming out. I just placed an order for it. So I would definitely recommend The Cruel Prince. And all these other books are also dealing with fairies and the land of fairies. And this one I have not read, but Melissa Marr is a great author. I've read other books by her. There's 2 books by her that also deal with this world of fairies. So try one of those 2 books out if you feel like it, if either of those topics interest you. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about today, though, is your reading goals. So I have noticed that a lot of people did not check out very many ebooks or audiobooks over the break. I'm really hoping you guys had lots of books at home to be reading. But everybody should set themselves a reading goal. Now, for me, reading is my job. So my reading goal is pretty high. I'm very proud that last year in 2020, I read 101 books. And um, it's just what I enjoy doing. So I always set my goal, though, at a reasonable level, but one that's a challenge for me. So my goal is, again, 75 books. I do not expect your goal to be that high because you've got a lot of other things going on in your lives. If you're a librarian, your goal should be that high. So give yourself a reading goal. Say, hey, I'm going to read one book a month. That may be a challenge, but achievable goal for you. Maybe if you're already a reader, you want your goal to be 2 books a month or 3 books a month. You set yourself a goal, give yourself a challenge, and see what you can do with that. So give yourself a reading goal every year and see if you can make it. And then finally, drum roll, save the date. Our spring book fair is coming up next month in February. It's going to be an all online fair this year. So lots more information will be coming out. Be on the lookout for more information on our book talks through broadcast and on announcements. It's going to be from February 15th to February 28th. So it's a 2-week online fair where you'll be able to go online, buy books, and have them shipped directly to your house. So even for you guys that are remote, or if you end up going remote before the fair, it's not going to make any difference. And all of that, the proceeds, we get to keep in the library, and we're going to use it to make some really great changes for next year, hopefully. Hopefully we'll all be back. So please keep a lookout for more book fair information. Set yourself your reading goal and find yourself something really good to read. As always, you can email me or message me through Schoology if you have any questions about anything that I've shared or just about anything at all. So have yourself a great day, get a good book to read, and I'll see you next time.